Yes, we are going to talk about the Lakewood insanity. And friends, it's even crazier than you know. But we're also going to be talking about two train derailments, a chemical train in North Carolina and another train in West Virginia. We're going to talk about what's going on over in Taiwan, a barrage of Chinese balloons going right over Taiwan. That's a big deal over there as well. We have medical supply shortages that we're going to be talking about and other food shortage updates that you guys have sent in. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade. We got a lot of big updates here, some cultural, some things going on out there, and you guys are really sharing some supply chain issues that people need to be paying attention to. Before we dive in, we do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. They do a fantastic job helping people get out of stocks and bonds, other risky things, and over into gold, silver, and platinum coins in their retirement accounts. If you have questions about that, what that would look like, what that would entail, Jonathan and his team would love to talk to you and give you some options and see if it's a good fit for you. There'll be a link at the end of the video for you to get some more information. All right, so the Lakewood religious gathering came under attack by a woman. Yes, the person in question used to identify as a man and has a big, long criminal history. But of course, they were on the street. On their rifle was Free Palestine. Yes, so that kind of gives you a general idea of where on the political spectrum this person is coming from. They decided to take their 7-year-old boy, probably still a boy, brought their 7-year-old boy with them to go shoot up this religious gathering. And not only were they taken out by several off-duty police officers, but the 7-year-old was wounded as well. One 56-year-old man who was attending the event was shot in the hip. If you're familiar with Lakewood, if you're not familiar with Lakewood, that is where Joel Osteen teaches. Jessica shares about 14 Norfolk Southern Railroad cars derailed in North Carolina. They spilled molten sulfur. Hazmat is on the scene, of course. The rail line services major phosphate mines in the area, and crews suspect damage to the track as the cause, though no criminal investigation is yet underway. Another train derailed yesterday evening in Morgan County, West Virginia. A number of these derailments recently. Hazmat teams are on site there in West Virginia as well. We also have 5 balloons came across the island of Taiwan. So the United States had a surveillance balloon that came across the United States. That was big news. But Taiwan is getting a barrage of these going over. We're talking about dozens in the last several weeks. So China is upping its harassment of Taiwan to levels we haven't seen before. They have daily aircraft that are coming across the median line, doing bombing runs basically on the island. And they have Navy ships encircling the island almost constantly. Big deal out there. And here's a thought for you guys. Here's a question for you guys. Let me know down in the comments down below. I'm thinking about potentially going out to Taiwan and seeing for myself and getting some video for you guys and reporting on the situation over there before craziness really makes that impossible. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd like me to go around some of the places and the beaches and the ports in Taiwan and do some videos and talk to some of the locals and get some information firsthand from over there. Let me know about that. This is from a viewer. This is specific to home medical supplies. I've had children and myself with feeding tubes and needing the related supplies for the past 10 years. The packaging of the feeding tube formula bags has changed. The syringes have become rationed. They're rationing them. And some have changed size to smaller so that the tubes don't connect to the bags, to the feeding tube ports. And those have been rationed as well and limited. Last month, the company sent out an official letter stating ways patients can reuse all supplies to help build up a spare supply for you at home. So because they have shortages of these medical items and stuff like that, if you can just reuse them, and then you can build up kind of a supply of them in case you can't get them at some point. The formula shortages had not been remedied either. So if you're not familiar, formula shortages, normally people call them infant formula, but people with feeding tubes and such need to use formula as well. So that's life-sustaining and health maintenance issues for many. We're not talking about just like, well, some people don't want to breastfeed or something like that. We're talking about not only do children sometimes have dietary needs, but also adults sometimes have to use the formula as well. And there's different formulations for different ages and stuff like that too, and different dietary needs. So many people are depending on these things. And why would they require, and they require enteral nutrition, and what type of tubes, depending on what type of tubes they use, G-tube, GJ tube, J-tube. Also things like alcohol swabs and gloves are in short supply. Friends, are you hearing about this stuff, or are people just being forced to find out about this when they suddenly need these items? Patients with feeding tubes are reporting that the balloons holding the feeding tube ports in place internally are bursting much sooner than they had in the past. I'm wondering if companies are attempting to cut costs by using less material. Things are not the same. When reordering, patients are being asked if they are out of supplies before orders can be submitted. You have to verify that you're out before they'll let you submit something. And also the invoices have outrageous upcharges now. UPS used to ship our supplies, but now another private company that hires non-U.S. citizens is supplying these things. The workplace my husband retired from has also been hiring non-U.S. citizens to replace retirees to make up for the non-decent wage that they're paying. So I could also name other specific companies doing this. So few outside the medical consumer groups are discussing these issues, and even on these job market issues. Let me know if you're seeing those type of things as well. That's the people in our society that are the most vulnerable and who have the least amount of time to deal with this kind of stuff are the people that are struggling day to day to get better or to survive. And yet it's like the medical industry is preying upon these people. The insurance companies, the medical and the medications, and these companies are just going after these people because they know they can't defend themselves. And if that doesn't enrage you, I don't know what will. This is from BW. Bloomington and Bedford, Indiana. Rural King had 0 lime. Lime is an important thing, right? Both locations were also at least 50% empty of all other products. Something going on with Rural Kings. I wonder. Ehide says Mifflinburg, Central Pennsylvania. Gas is up 16 cents overnight. I told you, gas prices are going up. We used to see different towns with different prices so that we could go to less expensive gas stations. Now everyone went up to $3.55 a gallon. They are coordinating more, and that is true. They can check each other's prices a lot more easily, and so they're regulating the prices. I wouldn't say it's a conspiracy, but gas stations can easily check what the gas stations around them are offering now, and they're playing ball with each other basically. If you have updates, please do pass them along. Just use the word update in any one of your comments on this channel. That gets it to the right place, and give us some sort of geographical location if you can. Michelle says, in Oregon, I lost my job on the 24th of January. The unemployment website said that it can take several weeks until they can process my claim. Thankfully, I start my new job this coming week. So that is the best answer to that, of course, getting another job. But, you know, if you suddenly are out of work because you got laid off, you need to get your benefits. And I've heard some horror stories about how long it can take for people to get their unemployment benefits. Vic says, in Virginia, post office now is delivering UPS, FedEx, and even Amazon packages. See the postal truck every Sunday delivering packages. My mailman of many years retired totally disgusted and angry. But if it helps keep the post office afloat, I mean, it doesn't make sense, right? To have 3 different drivers come up to your house and deliver packages. It makes sense that they'd, instead of driving up to your house, they just like pass the package over to another service and pay them a little bit of money to deliver it for them. I mean, I don't know, that makes sense to me to have one delivery instead of having multiple deliveries out running the same routes. But I hope they can figure the shipping packages out because U.S. Postal Service is losing so much money. Our taxpayer money. Brassman says, update, Aldi's in southern Iowa. Eggs went from $1.86 to $3.12 per dozen within a few days. We are seeing issues with eggs out there for sure, and especially out west. Oregon, Washington, and California are seeing the worst issues with eggs, but it is hitting elsewhere, like here in Iowa, seeing prices passing along. This is from George. I just bought some stamps because we may not be able to pay our bills online in the coming future. So that's a good idea to make sure you are stocked up on stamps. Stamps are only going to go up in price too, right? Produce at a Walmart in Tulsa, Oklahoma, looked very moldy, but it looked much better at Sam's Club. That's been my experience too, is that Sam's Club seems to be better produce-wise. That's why I always get my salads at Sam's Club. I don't know. That, the rotisserie chickens, and the pretzels are nice at Sam's Club. A lot of the other stuff isn't really all that great of a deal. You got to be careful. Because just because it's bigger and bulkier doesn't mean it's better per ounce than some of the brands at Walmart and such. Emily says, 45 minutes south of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, we have bare shelves in the bread section and milk section at Walmart. Also, the canned meat section at Aldi is practically non-existent anymore. Canned meat's disappearing. And has been for the last few months. Plus, the fresh produce is lacking. And what they do have looks horrible. Aldi has been bad produce-wise. Like, when it comes to leafy greens and stuff like that, their stuff just looks really sad. I mean, that's been my experience. I'm sorry. Maybe you have good experiences with Aldi, but when it comes to salads and such. Dollar General was completely bare. They had 5 to 6 whole entire aisles that had absolutely nothing in them. Are we going to see Dollar General go under? That's a question I can throw out there for you. Cheryl says, my husband is recently retired from the UPS. He paid into his retirement, and maybe I did have to actually change it around. So maybe they did mean U.S. Postal Service. That makes more sense. Is matched for retirement. This January, he put in for his TSP and postal retirement papers. He called them and he was told that he would not be receiving his share that the post office was supposed to match. He was never told this after 22 years of USPS service. He was a postal carrier, no money for federal employees, but tons of money for illegals. Handing out free money to people in order to buy votes, that makes sense, but taking care of our obligations here in the United States, apparently that's not as sensible as we thought it is. We should probably have a politician on here sometime to explain it all to us, all of us little stupid people, because it doesn't make sense, does it? Stephanie says, went to a Kroger in Middle Tennessee this week. The only available celery was organic or pre-cut celery sticks. Also, no serrano peppers, no red lentils, no small bags of russet potatoes, Very slim pickings in the cranberry juice section. The small bags of red onions were non-existent, so just lots of little items just gone. Could only find small packs of bottled water, 24 packs, no 40 packs. And what I was seeing was smaller sizes, and non-organic options were just not available. Smaller sizes, non-organic options, gone. But generally there was some product, albeit more expensive. It's funny how the more expensive products seem to stay on the shelf. Yep, it's the discount products, the budget items that are disappearing all over the place. If you have updates, please do pass those along. Keep us informed on what's going on in your area. If you want to find out more information about Genesis Gold and what they can do for your retirement account to get over into something safer, there's a link right there. If you want to check out another video from the channel, there's one right up there. Thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.